Alright, Slow Sport Showdown number 2. 8 different sports cars, 1 race, 1 hour. We've got the faster cars at the back, the slower cars at the front. I was the top qualifier of the Sprunk Buffaloes. Oh! Slow starting Tropos there. Pick off a few positions from the Troposes initially. We'll have to see how the first few laps everybody settles down and everything. 2 pit stops to be done during this race, like most showdowns are. This is the sequel to Slow Sports Showdown number 1, which was one of the best races I've ever done. That was on the Xbox, this is on the Xbox. Eight different sports cars in this race. We've got Comet Safaris, Karumas, Tropos Omnis, the Lynx, the Sprunk Buffalo, the Hot Ring Sabre and the GB200. Those are the 8 cars. They're all generally on the same sort of pace, which is the kind of idea with these showdowns. They're all got their own strengths and weaknesses. Should be an interesting race. The Comet Safaris have very good drivers in them and absolutely dominated in qualifying. That's why they started at the back. But we also have a sort of mix of drivers because we put the faster cars at the back, but then the order of where those cars, where you started within your car class was based on your lap time. So the person who had the best, Comet Safari started ahead of all the other Comet Safaris, but obviously all the Comet Safaris were at the back of the grid. Come on, hold it around the outside. Oh, wow, was that a Comet Safari already? Jesus. Going through the pack so quickly. Sprunk Buffalo was kind of in the middle. It's not the best in terms of outright lap time, but it is rather consistent. It's quite an easy car to drive, so that might help. I decided to choose the Sprunk Buffalo for this just because I like it. I like the car, I like the way that it drives. I like the paint scheme that you can get on it. That everybody in the chat hates currently. Yeah, the hot ring is a bit of a challenge. We've got King Blaze, who's just gotten into the lead in the hot ring. He's going to have a challenge trying to keep the Comet Safaris behind. So I don't know even how I'm going to do that. They've got such good acceleration. Oh wow. It's right there. So yeah, if you haven't seen Slow Sports Showdown 1 and you're watching this on YouTube, the link to the watch that race will be in the description. Well, it genuinely was probably the best race I've ever had on GTA, from a sort of like just an incredible race, incredible things that happened and an amazing finish. Just such a good race. I'm trying my best to keep the Comet behind. Oh, that didn't help me. He's going to have me. Oh, no. Could have done if he'd cut on the inside. I'm losing time to the 2 in front, just trying to keep the Comet behind. Yeah, the top 3 Comets. Oh my god, that speed difference. It loves the bumps. You just saw it visibly there, it loves the bumps. Oh, crashes on the inside. Tried to take advantage, but didn't quite work out. Didn't really gain much from that. Oh, bit of a knock. Oh, it's action-packed so far. All these... This is what's amazing about these showdowns. You get all these different types of cars all racing against each other with their own strengths and weaknesses. That Comet is so good though. That might have been a mistake to include that in this this listing. We do have some good drivers in the Comet as well, so... But... Generally, this slow spot showdown number 2 probably isn't going to be quite as balanced as the cars were in slow spot showdown 1, but we're still getting some good racing. Now, all these different cars, we've got quite a few rally cars in this. Some of the newer race cars with the bad handling flags. We got, you know, a wide variety of vehicles, and the pace differences aren't that much. Like as I said in the Supercar Showdown 3 last week, the driver skill obviously makes a difference as well. So you can't just say total lap times that we'll see at the end of this video are absolutely fact, but it's so difficult trying to defend and go forward as well. Yeah, GB200 doesn't like the bumps on the bridge. That was another GB200, I think, that had crashed there, so we're into the top 5. Oh, it looks like there's been an incident. We have a Kuruma waiting. But I didn't gain a position there, so is he a lap behind now? I don't know what happened. Because the Kurumas started behind us and I haven't had any Kurumas overtake me. But yeah, you saw it. You saw the effect of the handling flags, the new handling flags. The Hot Ring Sabre isn't affected by the handling flags. It actually does gain from bumps. It's just not very nice to drive in the city because it's not very planted basically. But yeah, you saw it on the GB200 there that we had some bumps. My Sprunk Buffalo gained speed from the bumps, and the GB200 lost speed from the bumps. That's how it works. Yeah, we've got to do 2 pit stops during this race. That means 2 times coming through the pit lane. Can I get an overtake on the hot ring? No. Lynx is back. Just can't do it. The hot ring is so unstable, that's the thing. It's unstable in the corners, but the bumps do help it. So you can't get into the position to get an overtake done because it just builds up the speed so well off the bumps. Maybe here. Maybe here. Come on. No. No. Damn it. Could have been a bit more forceful on the outside there, but I thought, oh no. Ah. Ah, God damn it. That was the Hot Ring Sabre just getting out of shape there. And took me, and I think it was Blue Eyed Malice was in the links behind me. The hot ring got out of shape and took us with it. So yeah, no need for me to wait for that one because he got out of control. And there was nothing I could do to avoid that. But yeah, it didn't help. We were having a good race though. That was a good racing. Again, this is the beauty of these showdown events with so many different vehicles. You see the strengths and the weaknesses of the different cars. Like the Hot Ring was just gaining speed so much from the bumps. outside, out of corners. But it wasn't as planted as what the Sprunk Buffalo was around the corners, so I was closing up in the braking zones and around the corners. But because it just had that good straight line speed from all the bumps, I wasn't able to get into a position to make an overtake apart from into the hairpin, which worked out quite well. But somebody's made a stop, pit stop. Is that a Lynx? I think that's a Lynx. So this Lynx started ahead of us. The two Lynxes started quite high up. That's not gone well, that was bad. So that's B-Dogs there, has made a pit stop in the Lynx and managed to come out ahead. So there's a bit of a, I guess you could say we have, an idea of where we are in the race, that I am a pit stop behind the top few cars at least. So I think top 3 is going to be a big challenge in this race at this point. We do have some really fast Comet Safaris still coming up behind us. So, even, oh, there's a crash. A top 5 position might be quite challenging as well. But we'll see what we can do. We are into 3rd now, but still a pit stop behind that Lynx. But yeah, you never know what will happen regarding crashes and all that kind of stuff. Should be able to pull away from the Omnis to a certain extent, but it loves the bumps. I keep forgetting about the Omnis loving the bumps. It's right there. I am pulling away now at this phase, but yeah, the Omnis doesn't have great top speed, but it does enjoy the bumps. Alright, so up into 3rd. Tell you what, if the race finished here, I'd be very happy. We've got a long way to go yet. Hour-long race. Still got my 2 pit stops to make. I don't really want to make them anytime soon. I kind of want some more gaps to appear behind so that I can come out and basically not do what that Lynx just did. We just saw that the Lynx made an early pit stop and came out behind someone who he's, technically ahead of. When the Omnis makes his pit stop, he would have been ahead anyway. But he got caught up in an incident, got slowed down. That's because that's compromised his race. So I want to, now that I've got some clear air ahead of me, and I'm in a decent position at the start of this race, I don't want to take an early pit stop, come out behind someone, get involved in an incident and all that. I'll just wait for some gaps to appear behind. Pretty much the opposite of the Supercar Showdown, the 3rd one from last week, where I had a bad start and I took an early pit stop. Got a train of cars behind me. An absolute train. I think it's like 3rd to 7th place or something like that. I think there's 5 cars behind. Looking at the map anyway. I never look behind. I think people were asking why I wasn't looking behind or looking at the timing. Pressing down on the D-pad to see the gaps to other cars during the Supercar Showdown. And it's just to avoid as many distractions as possible, basically. As soon as you start looking behind or looking at timing, you lose concentration and then make a mistake and that's it. This Omnis is still behind me, but I am pulling away. Just at the end of the back straight, but I think it sounds like there's a Comet Safari behind me now again. Another one. Oh Jesus. I think that was a Comet Safari. going to be a struggle to finish in the top 5. Gone for a very wide line. He's going to have an incredible... Yeah, I saw what he was trying to do there. He took a very, very wide line to use the Comet Safari's incredible acceleration. But I was able to defend the inside, but how long I'm going to be able to continue this defense, I don't know. Got to remember, the Comet Safari started at the back of the grid. We've got one in second place so far. That wasn't a good entry onto the back straight. I'm trying so hard to defend, but I'm losing time because of it. And it just, the Comet Safari loves the bumps too much. And it's gone. Oh, wow. And there was the other one that I didn't even notice. That was our top qualifier, Adonis X. For God's sake. Yeah, I think the Comet Safari I shouldn't have included in this. You know, you don't know until the end, I suppose. Nothing I can do. Hanging out around the outside maybe, but I'm essentially making the race worse for myself. I'm trying to defend from these Comet Safaris, but they're gonna get me eventually. So I'm losing time relative to anybody else I might actually be racing against, trying to defend from these Comets. Tell you what, Blaze is going to have a job of it trying to defend from the Comets in that Hot Ring Sabre. I am by no means the best driver in this this lobby, in this race. We got some very strong drivers. Ironically, have chosen one of the better cars. The Tropos is meant to be very good as well, but again, it's, you know, it's driver dependent. Whatever you put the best drivers in the best cars, they're going to have a field day. But we have one of the best drivers in one of the worst cars, which is Blaze in the Hot Ring. So, you know, we've got good drivers in good cars, good drivers in bad cars, and then we've got a big middle group of mid-level drivers, of which I would consider myself one, in all the middling cars. Now look, I just can't do anything. Nothing I can do, it's gone. Okay. So, I'm in 5th. We've got the 3 very strong Comet Safaris gone now, and Blaze ahead. Been an action-packed start to the race, I've got to say. I need to think about my first pit stop at some point. I don't know how many pit stops these guys have done. I don't know how many pit stops anybody behind me has done. I tried to defend as much as I could. Hopefully my defense was good enough. I always feel like I'm not too bad with defensive driving in racing. I kept them behind as long as I could. But we'll see where it all shakes out at the end. Long way to go yet. Fun fact about the slow sports showdown. The original one, Slow Sports Showdown number 1, the race that this is a sequel to, it was on the same track, on the same platform, different cars but the same idea, and it was the race that Summit1G saw. He happened to see it when I was streaming it on Twitch, and it made him start racing in GTA. So if you've ever watched Summit and you saw him racing in GTA, and you wonder, how did he ever end up racing in GTA? That race that we did, Slow Sport Showdown 1, was the reason. And like I said, if you haven't watched it, link will be in the description. One of the best races. Alright, I think it's about time to make my first pit stop. I've got that Omnus behind me that got caught up with the Lynx, and now I've got another car behind that. But between the two cars, there are there's quite decent gaps. Oh, it didn't fix me, of course it didn't. Alright, so the Omnus has passed. Made my first pit stop, and I'm still in 6th place. That's a good sign. One more pit stop to go. I don't know whether that Omnus has made a pit stop. He could have done. Or he might be making another pit stop at some point soon, and I'll get back up into 5th place through virtue of that. We're just going to have to wait and see. Is that an Omnus? We've got an Omnus behind me as well, so... I'm in a battle over 5th place at this point. Top 5 position I would be very happy with. But that's the battle that I'm in at the moment. Oh, the Omnus must have made a mistake. I'll take it. Although we're probably going to start battling and slowing each other down now. It was a nice try. I've done that move before, so I knew what he was doing. Okay, this is going to get interesting. Back to the defensive game. Comet Safari just entered first. I almost feel like that was inevitable. Oh Jesus, that was very blind. That wasn't an interest. That wasn't a good strategy. Alright, so we put a bit of a gap at the end of that lap on the back straight to the Omnis. The other Omnis had caught right up to us since we started battling. And now I see on the map that there's only one car behind me. So I think one of those Omnis has decided to pit. So I don't know. Okay, so that's the Omnis that's behind me now is the one that was behind me before the yellow Omnis made a mistake. So the yellow Omnis has made a stop. Don't know whether that's his first stop or his second stop. But either way, I'm still having to defend from an Omnis. It's interesting, this is very, very similar to Slow Sports Showdown 1, where the Omnis is catching up to me throughout most of the lap and then I'm pulling away on the back straight. Very, very similar to the situation at the end of the race in the first Slow Sports Showdown when I was in the Rapid GT and I had the Chameleon chasing me down. We're engaging defensive mode again. This Omnis is right behind me. Defend, defend, defend. It's not very interesting to watch a defensive race. I quite like defending and racing. Second guessing your opponent and all that kind of stuff, but it's not interesting to watch for you guys because you're not seeing what the car behind is doing. The best you can do really is see the map unless they're really, really close, but I guess you get to see what I see. I'm reacting to what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing on the map, that kind of stuff. There's some places I know that you can't really get an overtake done. There's some places I know that are prime overtaking spots, so I change what I do based on all of that. Blaze back ahead in the lead. Interesting. I wonder if pit stops are having an effect on that. Whew. Hard work. This is hard work defending. In a race like this every single lap. Thank you, Tropos. Coming up to lap some people. There's an interesting race going on here. Tropos and an Omnis. Still races going on even towards the back end of the pack. Alright. Too much time. It's just Omnises everywhere. I can't get away from the Omnis, regardless of who's driving it. Alright, so we are starting to come up to quite a few back markers. It's not just sort of one or two. We are coming up to lap people, and ordinarily I would say this might be a good time to make a stop. So obviously you do get slowed down when you lap back markers, but I've already lapped two of them. So I would just be back behind them again and having to overtake them again. I do need to make another stop at some point though. I assume this Omnis behind me does as well. But I could be wrong. He might have made two pit stops already and, you know, he's always going to take the position. I just don't know at this point. I feel like I've had some decent defense so far, but... I've not had a good run on the back straight here. Been some good racing. I've enjoyed this. I would have thought that he would have made a pit stop at this point. Like he has, it feels like he's getting slowed down by me. if he'd made only one of his 2 stops, it feels like he would have made a stop to try and get into some clean air. But he hasn't, which is making me think that maybe he's already made both of his stops. And he's going to end up finishing the race ahead of me anyway. Coming up to lap at Comet Safari. There's 4 Comet Safaris in the race, 3 of them are ahead of me, 1 of them we've just lapped. There's a wide variety of skill levels obviously in the race. And that's fine, that's what it's all about, just having some good racing. These showdowns are always just a bit of fun. This has been intense, man. This is so intense. Every single lap defending against this Omnis. It's so much fun. I love doing this. Like a chess game in the middle of a race. It's amazing. Yeah, I messed that up. Ah, there it goes. It's so hard to do, you know, every single lap you've got to be pinpoint perfect all the time, putting your car in the right place. Otherwise someone will just, you know, he's right there behind, just ready to capitalise. Messed it up there. Okay, tables of 10 now. Oh, he's gone too wide. I wonder if that's the first time he's done that hairpin without having me in front of him to guide him into it. And okay, well, I was just about to say the tables have turned. Now I can do some attacking instead of defending for once in the race, but I guess not. Twists and turns of racing, yeah. I see 2 people on the map just ahead of us. It feels like they're back markers and there is a massive gap behind. This could be the time for the second stop, I think. Oh, for God's sake. Yes, fixed. Beautiful, finally it works. Went straight into a sign, because of course. Alright, both pit stops done. I've got a brand new car, which I haven't had for a while. I'm in 6th place. I don't know whether that Omnis will be stopping again or whether this is just where I'm going to finish. But I'm in the same position as the Supercar Showdown. I've made my stops. I'm going to come no worse than 6th unless I get overtaken on the road. And I'm probably going to come no worse than 5th because the top 4 are no better than 5th because the top 4 are gone. So now I can try to do a bit of chasing for that Omnis. I feel like that Omnis has done both of his stops really early. That's the feeling that I'm getting right now. is that he did 2 very early stops, come back through the grid. We were battling. That's why he didn't come into the pits at any point whilst we were battling, despite me seemingly slowing him down. I think we're going to end up in 6th place in this race. Or I could have been completely wrong with that assumption and we're about to get 5th place back. Wow, okay, there it is. The battle resumes. For the last few laps of the race. For a top 5 position. Not a good exit onto the back straight this lap. This hasn't been good. It's actually gaining on me. I got the advantage at the very top end, but this is going to be challenging in the last few laps. My car might be a lot more fresh than it was, but I'm certainly not. More defense is needed. There's something about this race. Wow! That is one of the best defensive races I think I've ever done in my entire life on this game. GG's RJ Slow for that incredible race. An incredible battle. Wow. Those last 2 laps. That Omnis did have a better lap, so I was on the back foot. Whew. GG to Blaze for 2nd place in that hot ring. That is unbelievable. The Comet Safari did get it in the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different cars in the top 8. 6 different cars, 7 different cars in the top 12. You know, take that. Wow. Yeah, those top lap times are just something else. The Comet Safari was ridiculous and in the hands of good drivers as well. Top 5 finish. I'm pretty happy with a top 5 finish. Having had, you know, my first laps in the car were the qualifying before the race around the track. So I'm happy. I'm very happy. And that defending, I can't even. I've not done. I don't think I've. To be defending for so long against so many different people, and then to be able to hold that 5th place because of the defending was just awesome. GG's all around. I feel like I'm Blaze is at a different level entirely, but me and Blaze are like share the same issues in that race of being on the back foot defending all the time, and we did good.